Hey everyone, Mac is back. Today I want to talk about the reasons to push for the 1.5 billion power in this game, because there are some benefits to that, and I want to discuss why, if you are approaching 800 million to a billion, that there's good reason to be able to do it. So let's get to it.
I'm friends with your mother. I'm here to help. Don't eat the help.
The first question is, why should we want to get to that 1.5 billion power mark? And here it is right here. To start is in the nobility. You'll see that you'll be able to get, once you get to Knight 1, that's when you can start to see that army size increase. It's a pretty massive increase to get 20,000 troops. So from going from the Hedge Knight 3 to a Knight 1, that's going to be really good to get that 20,000. If you continue with it, you can see here that the army size is increasing, and that's, the other stats you really don't care about too much until you get to Advisor 1. Advisor 1 is another big push to be able to get you to 12% fervor attack. So when you get your fervor when you're in fervor, your total attack is increased by 12%. That's a pretty massive bump there as well. And then also, of course, you're increasing it by 5,000 army size as well from the previous one. So that's also very, very good. And to be able to do this, to increase, these nobility, you need to be able to do two things: increase your power, and sometimes, well, once you get to that Knight 1, is increase your merit. So the final goal is going to be right here at the Maester quality. So once you get to that, that's going to be your max, and that's going to be able to get you that 70,000 army size and that 25,000 or 25% fervor attack increased. And to be able to do that, you need to get to that 1.5 billion, and that's the goal that I was talking about. But you also have to have 50 million merit. And to get the merit, you have to kill enemy troops. But they have to be of the tier 3 or higher variety. So you're going to need to kill tier 3, tier 4, or tier 5 to be able to do that. You're going to get points for them for each one that you do. As you see, I have 115 million points, merit points, and I believe the overall point value is 1 point for a tier 3, 5 points for a tier 4, and I think 15 points for a tier 5. I believe it is. I'm going to check on that, but it's basically just kill troops of a tier 3 or more, and you'll be good to go. And now the question becomes, like, how do you want to go about getting to that 1.5 billion mark? So you need to pick a time in the game when you're not going to be fighting, because the big reason is you're going to be you need to change all of your hospitals into mints. And the reason you're doing that is because you want this training speed to be 20% for every single one of your mints that you can. So for every single one, that 20% is just a massive bump to be able, whenever you're going to train all of those troops. So make sure you pick a time that you're not going to be fighting. I chose a time that was right before the glorious battle actually started, and I think that's probably a very good time for you as well. You're also going to want to save all of your training speed ups. You're going to need a lot of training speed ups, so make sure you save those. Also save your general speed ups, because you can use those to train troops as well. So those are two different types of speed ups that you can do. And there actually is one more speed up that you'll also be able to do as well, and that comes from your tavern. So in your tavern here, every time you collect, the time expires here, you'll be able to collect more speed ups here as well. So you're going to be able to use those speed ups to be able to speed up your training of your troops that you're doing. Also, you need to save on your resources. It's going to take you a lot of resources, and I mean billions of resources. So you can see here what I have saved. Look at the total grain items that I have. These were over like 6 billion or so when I first started. probably about 1.5 billion or so I want to say that I had to use, but you have to use a lot of these resources. The gold not so much, which is actually a very good benefit. I want to say I use a couple 100 million gold, which seems like a lot, but actually isn't too bad. And at the very end, if you actually need to use them, which I don't recommend doing it, I use the blue diamonds for speed ups because they can be used there as well. But I think there's just better areas to be able to use them. When it comes to which troops that you want to train to be able to get your power increase, it's going to be the tier 3. And the reason is because they give the most power for the least amount of cost. Tier 4s are way too expensive. You're not going to be doing tier 5s because most of you're already going to be at 1.5 billion before you get to tier 5. So tier 3 is where you want to be. At tier 1, tier 2, just they're too small. They just don't give you enough power boost for what you need. And lastly, on how to do it, there is an Excel spreadsheet right here that you can use. I'm sure someone in your alliance has it. If they don't, you can reach out to me. I will send you this spreadsheet. But it essentially tells you, figure out what your training speeds are going to be and what your current power was or is. Like mine, I started at 922 and I had 637% training speed, and I can show you that as well later on. And also, you can see here the cost reduction. This is you can also check that out to make sure that you're going to get the same cost reduction. And then you just enter in here in these ones where you want, how many you're going to need. So you see I needed 8 million of each one of these tier 3s, and then this is the total amount of resources you're going to. You can see here 2.5 billion, 1.6, 1.6, 1.6, all that very high. Tells you how many speed ups you need. This is a main stat here that you're going to have to look at. Then it tells you the power increase, and then eventually here it tells you what your power is going to be. You can see I was just shy of it, but I knew I had enough speed ups to be able to finish it off in resources, so I would be good to go. There are several ways to increase your training speed as well. So in here in your the Sept of the 7, there's this training speed buff. You might have some of these. You can see right here is a 20% buff. This is the one that I would use for sure because you're training so many troops. When you are training a lot of troops, this is the one you want to use. I don't have a whole lot of these because they are rare to be able to get. Something also to help you do this a little bit faster is the training expansion. So get in here and maybe grab one of these bigger ones. 50,000 is actually pretty much, you're still going to get quite a few. How many we talked about 8 million. So if you want to use a 200,000, that'll be a little bit faster, but these ones are actually really good. And the final question is, when do you want to do this? And I'd already mentioned this a little bit earlier. Make sure that you have your power is, a certain within reach of the 1.5 billion. You can see that I did it just over 900 million. You could do it earlier than that if you have more speed ups to be able to do so. You're going to have to, like I said, you're probably going to have to use some speed ups maybe to change those hospitals into mints, but once you do, you'll be good to go. And then once you do figure out when you want to do it. I would suggest doing it just before your glorious battle, because you have all of those troops in there, and if you want to kill some of those troops off, because you don't have to have them in there. If you do get rallied or if you get blockaded, you're not going to be able to zero your castle out. So if you want to be and maintain that zero castle, kill them during the when you're defending or attacking glorious battle. And the reason I say that is for a couple reasons. First of all, you're going to be able to get some of these battle tokens and bravery tokens. You can use them to get these badges in here, which are very nice badges. The infantry badges, the cavalry, and the spearmen. You're not going to get the fortification ones. So get those 3 badges right there. You get bunches of them. I would suggest racking them up as much as you can in here. So those are very nice to get. But also beyond that, if you're in the glorious battle, you actually get some of your troops will come back, and your cost that you had to the resources, you'll get some of those resources back as well. It's 25%. So it's a very good event to be able to reduce your power, but at the same time, because you're not going to use all those troops, so why even have them all? Why not get some benefit from them, increase your account's power by you getting these badges? I think it's a very good idea to do so. So until next time, Mac out.